How's it going, YouTube? This is Lil J. I got some good feedback on my first video, and hopefully I've took care of all your concerns and fixed anything I had a problem with. I have a question. Would you rather me just talk and narrate the battle, or would you like some background music to go along with the narration? Leave some comments with your thoughts. This is a battle against Happy. I found him on his chat, and he's a pretty nice guy. He leads off with his scissor as I go for my duck trio. He's pretty much forced to attack me, so I know he's gonna want to switch out somehow, so he goes for the U-turn, as I just go for the sucker punch, which does a horrible amount to the scissor. I could have played safe and just went for the self rocks, but I didn't. I figured I'd try to get some damage off on the scissor, and unfortunately it does pretty much nothing to it. So now he switches out into his Terrakion, and I don't want it to get into Justify boost, so instead of going for Sucker Punch, I just go for Earthquake using Duck Trio's Death Water. Excuse me. I'm kinda sick, and I hope that doesn't affect my narration too much. But now I just opt to go into my Politoed just to get up the rain, and I go for the Scald, and he predicts that nicely, and he switches out into his Celebi, which is going to take the Scald very well. But unfortunately for him, I do get a burn, which does matter somewhat in the long run of the match, but not really because Celebi has the natural cure, so he's going to switch out. So instead of him just going for the normal switch out, he's going to go for the U-turn as I switch out into my Gastrodon, predicting him. Oh, I'm sorry, it's kind of like 1 o'clock in the morning while I'm doing this narration. So I do apologize for that. So how are you doing, YouTube? I mean, Valentine's Day was 2 days ago, so how did you spend your Valentine? And he goes out into his Latios, and he goes for the Draco Meteor. I believe I went for the Ice Beam, if I'm not mistaken. Or does this just take me? No, I did go for the Ice Beam, but unfortunately his Draco Meteor does take me out. So Gastrodon pretty much did nothing this match. And now I go out into my Dragonite, and I go for the Thunder, which he does. No, actually, I go for the Hurricane, and it does a nice chunk to that Celebi. If I'm not mistaken, it does take it out. Yes, it does. Now here, my opponent, after the match, he told me that he thought Hurricane was a physical type move and not special. Otherwise, he would have switched into his his T-Tar to take it. But unfortunately for him, he did not know at the time that this was a special move and not physical. And I'm almost able to take out his Latios, but unfortunately not. But I can live a Draco Meteor. This is a Choice Specs Dragonite with the Modi scale, so I'm able to live a hit regardless. And I take him out next turn with another Hurricane. So, anything new with you guys going on? Like, if there are any ideas for how I can improve my narrations or what type of battles you would like to see, just let me know. Now he does opt to go out into his T-Tar though, as I just fire off another Hurricane, which surprisingly I do hit, which is good, meaning I get some damage off on this thing. It's not going to do much, seeing as his T-Tar is especially defense invested. And he goes for Pursue, predicting me to switch out, which really I have no reason to switch out. So I'm just going to fire off another Hurricane. Unfortunately, though, I do miss, and he's able to take me out now with a Pursuit. He was predicting me, like I said, to switch out, but really I had no reason to switch out. Dragon, I was pretty much dead, and either way, even if I did save for Death Water, there's nothing I could really do with it later on. So now I switch back out into my Politoed, and I go for the Focus Blast, which does a decent chunk to that T-Tar. I thought it might be enough to one hit kill it after he got his lefty's recovery from Dragonite, but it's not. It's almost enough. I don't know if that was max min damage or not. I'm not good at calculations. I really hate math actually. But it just goes for the safe crunch. And now I think he predicts me to go for a second Focus Blast and he switches out. But unfortunately for him, I go for the Scald on his Scissor, which for some reason hacks seems to be working to my advantage in this game because as you can see, I get a burn on the Scissor. I believe. Do I? No, I don't get a burn on the Scissor. I'm thinking of another match, I'm sorry. But I am able to outspeed and take out his Scissor. Now I get the burn. And he just opts for the U-turn and switch out. Try to get some damage on my Politoed. I think I live it with 25 HP. And now he's going to switch out into his Celebi, I think. No, his Doug Trio. Which I believe goes for the Earthquake. Yes, and just takes out my Politoed. There's really no reason for him to try to overpredict. I don't know if he does carry the Sucker Punch or not. But Earthquake is a safe move either way. And now I got him on Lucario and just extreme speed. And I don't know if I can't remember if he has focus. Yes, he does have the focus sash. So he's able to live the hit and he goes for another Earthquake. And does this take me out? Yes, no. Does Lucario live? It doesn't. Super effective. Lucario, you did your job. Oh well. I'm pretty proud of what you did so far. And now I just opt to switch out to my Scissor, and I go for the Bullet Punch. Pretty much nothing else I can do. I might as well just... I'm Choice Scarfed. I might as well lock myself into something. And now he switches back out into his Terrakion, as I just Bullet Punch. I was not expecting Bullet Punch to kill, but it does. I mean, I honestly did not know that Bullet Punch was super effective against Terrakion. But either way, it works out. And now he switches out into his T-Tar, which is going to die from a Bullet Punch to the face. So T-Tar is pretty much gone, and now all he has left on his team is his Scissor, which is burned. So yeah, that was a good game, Happy.